I hope.
That bell came from Germany, right? Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, dogs and cats, hamsters and gerbils, if you're watching. Hi everybody, I'm Thom Joyce. I call myself the Acoustic Vagabond. We're being safe. I'm home, I can take it off. Wear your masks, keep your distance, wash your hands, try not to touch your face. Ladies and gentlemen, every day at 7 o'clock in New York State, they've been offering the first responders and those people in the front lines of World War C to a nice round of applause. So let's give that right now. Anyway, I'm Thom Joyce. Oh, my lens came out.
I'll fix it. Just give it to me.
I'm Thom Joyce. I'm call myself the Acoustic Vagabond. Welcome to Troubadour Thom's Tasteful Tuesday Tunecast. Tonight we got something a little special. I'm just going to go kind of off the books and go and see where it takes me. But we always, after we start out, we gave the round of applause. We always thank my inspiration, my better half. Did you get it, sweetie? I can just do it if you...
The fixer of the glasses.
The fixer of the glasses, so I can read the poem. But anyway, put your hands together for my sweetheart, as I said, my inspiration, Luann Joyce. Without her, I wouldn't be doing these things. She keeps me focused, she keeps me pressing onward, and I am forever grateful for her. And she's a really decent person.
Not a totally decent person, a slightly decent person.
A really decent person. And ladies and gentlemen, I got the joy of watching her work from home last week. They had closed their school. Anyway, so she prints out my poems for me every week too. So I start my set with poetry. I've been doing this since my birthday, March 19th, and in April, it was Poetry Month, so I started reading the poetry, and I really liked doing that, so I kept going. And one of the things is that it makes me write a poem, at least one. So I didn't have any poems up to yesterday, and last night at around 3 o'clock, I went outside for a walk, 3 o'clock in the morning, folks, to see the shooting stars. And I started with the celestial sounds was like what I was going to write about, but it ended up being a completely different poem. One that's a little on the depressing side, but anyway, the first poem is called Crying in Pain While Walking in the Rain. The endless beating of a heart besieged with loneliness never hears the celestial sounds and the summer winds. Solitary walks while wearing the last sorrowful vestige of a forced and faked smile. She holds her head up, presenting to the world the appearance of respect and sophistication. In high school, she was known as an easy girl, but no one knew how hard just to maintain while being used and then disposed without remorse as a notch on a trophy belt of a non-committed male. Celestial sounds and summer winds give way to the endless beating of a heart besieged with loneliness. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea where that came from, but I really liked it. It's one of those ones that just like kind of hit me. So that was a little on the lower end of the emotional scale. So I just whipped off kind of something that I was out about last night. So I went out to see the Lenonort?
I think it's Leonid, but I don't.
Leonid?
I don't think it's that.
It is that time. It is that one. But there's supposed to be a whole bunch of shooting stars last night. I was out for probably a half hour, even more. My neck is sore from looking up, and I didn't see nary a one. But the sky was just breathtaking. The stars, the moon wasn't out, so all the stars were out. And I tried to go to a place where there wasn't that much light. I went up to Hidden Brook, we do have a lot of what called light pollution in this area. No escaping it, but it was still really, really something to behold. So this poem is called "Gazing Up, Looking for a Shooting Star." The sky, in its wonder and majestic wisdom, allows the soul to gaze and deeply ponder, while establishing an inner rhythm to develop a lifelong sense of wonder. The space between and the space of time deliberately unfold, laid out to view the inner mysteries in all of their prime, given freely to both me and you. A little bit more positive.
Well, what are you gonna play tonight, there,
So,
buddy?
I'm gonna start out. I have a couple of things that I really want to do tonight. Can you turn the heat back down?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have these new rooms, and our old house used to be so cold and drafty and stuff, and we can turn up the heat and it immediately warms up and then stays that way for a while. So, but anyway, last week I had a real blast. Last week was I really, really had a good time. So I want to kind of continue that same thing. But we had Veterans Day last week, and in that time I was thinking a lot about my dad. My dad was a veteran, and when he passed, I wrote a song, and this song has a story. Anyway, the story, this is in an odd tuning, and that's one of the things that I'm going to do today, folks, is playing open tunings. I love, as I said in my little post, I have a proclivity towards open tunings. $10 fancy word. But anyway, I had this melody going when I got word that my father was put on life support, and he was down in Florida, and he was on a machine, and they asked me if they wanted to keep him alive till I got down there. And I was like, we had just seen him for his 50th anniversary about 2 months before that, right? Yeah, May, yeah, and I was like, no, I'll have that memory of Dad with, just like as that. But so my parents were Catholic. My mother couldn't make the decision to pull the plug, so he was being kept alive on a machine. And so I'm kind of freaking out a little bit and trying to figure out what to do. I call my bosses, blah blah blah. I had to get plane tickets, and I leave the house to go to travel agency or whatever, and I come back and I'm like, I forgot something, and I go inside and got my wallet, got my credit cards, and we didn't have this room up here, but I walked into the living room, and I was like, what did I forget? And this
Not that.
Not this guitar, no. Probably my Hummingbird. But it was I had a guitar, and it was in this tuning. And what this tuning is, that's an F sharp, and that's an F sharp. My son Jacob showed me that a while ago. But anyway, I had that tune, but I had this unfinished melody that I never, it was always baffling me. But I picked it up and I'm like freaking out, and I look at the digital display for the time on the television thing, and it was 10:15, and that's exactly when my dad gave up his ghost. My mom did not have to make that decision to unplug and thing, but anyway, 3 notes and a chord came, and it was the perfect part to my.
So I just gotta say, you recall he said he had to go get plane tickets and he was on his way out, but he happened to walk by his guitar and he just had to pick it up. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyway, so here is Song of and for my father. And I played this at his funeral. And I think it's been the only time that I've played it without making a mistake. Dad. I miss you, buddy. So I posted a picture of my dad that I think my aunts had given me, and it was kind of brought back a lot of memories of me hanging around with Dad, and I didn't get enough time. I was a runaway. I had problems with my parents, and more with my mom than my dad. But anyway, I missed a good part of learning a lot about him because of not spending time. And ladies and gentlemen, if you still got your folks left, ask them questions. They're the library to the history of your family. Record it, put it down. You know, it's important. Anyway, do I want to do the Mando parts now? No, I'm gonna go to this thing first.
I don't know what you told me to do.
What's that?
No,
I didn't hear you, hon.
no, it's okay.
So this is an open D tuning. So this is D, D, A, D, F sharp, D.
What you need, babe?
This to come a little closer.
I can do that for you if you want. See, that's what your roadie's for. You should have asked me. I would have done it. Good thing it was that $5 guitar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta thank Carla Springer for this guitar. In our wonderful little town, we had a cancer benefit, and we had a cancer benefit, and Carla donated her guitar. Dennings Point Liquor Distillery he was still setting up his shop. He was just moved into Beacon, and I walked in and said, "Hey, I didn't even know him at the time, but he donated a thing of whiskey or a bourbon." And a whole bunch of people donated stuff. And so what it was is that you paid $5 and you got 6 tickets. And you put your ticket in various things. They had a massage, they had some bonsai plants, guitar, the whiskey, some wine from somewhere, you know, a whole bunch of things. It was pretty neat. And there was live music too. It was a fun event, but I put 2 of my things into the guitar, thinking, and everybody and their brother put their chances in the guitar. And I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I figured I'd win the whiskey because I did put it in, but I would give it to my brother-in-law if I did win it. But anyway, I won this guitar, and it's become it's such an easy playability. It's got great tone. That's called Awakening, Awareness, Self-Consciousness, and whatever. That song just, that transposes me. I just So, hey, could you do me a favor?
Sure can.
Could you write out the Leif's,
Grace Johansson?
the Grace Johansson thing for me? And
You bet.
I'm gonna do this. So,
Florence is on. She made it home to Florida.
all right, Florence is in Florida. So now I'm playing a 10 string. This lost another string as I was tuning up before. So this 12 string is in a open G tuning. Yeah, that was a D tuning. This is in G. So that's D, G, D, G, B, D. The G chord. And what I used to do is I used to perform at a place called Duchess Horizons. It's a home for, how do we politically correctly say, emotionally challenged, mentally challenged adults. I would do an hour set, and I'd start out in standard tuning, drop this string to a drop D, then go to a double drop D, and then tune down this one, the A string, to a G, to the open G tuning. And I would have like, you know, a big block in standard tuning, a few in the drop D, a couple in two in the double drop D, and then a few, 2 or 3 in this. So I'm getting to do that. And I was preparing to leave my audience with a rocker. And I had tried to figure out a John Prine song in this tuning, and I never did figure out the John Prine song, but I came up with this really kind of nice little, like fast little. Something along that line. It was nowhere near the John Prine song. But just as I'm about ready to, I'm saying my goodbyes, this woman comes up and says, "Can you play a slow song?" And I was like, so I was like, so I basically just took the progression I had and slowed it down. So I looked up. The lady had found a partner. They were dancing. Toe to toe. Cheek to cheek. No room. To this part. And about half the room was dancing. Toe to toe. I got to the bridge, and no, just over 3/4 of the room was dancing. Toe to toe, cheek to cheek. No room for the Holy Ghost. Came around again, just about ready to make my final pass, and I looked up, and everybody was dancing, except for this one guy in the front and one guy way, way in the back. To the last part of the song, I looked up, and those two guys had found each other. They were dancing, toe to toe, cheek to cheek. No room for the Holy Ghost. So the whole room was up, toe to toe, cheek to cheek. No room for the Holy Ghost. And that's why the song is called The Dance. Ladies and gentlemen, 36, we'll go do one more. What have I got in this? I did that last week. Now we're going to go to, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the mantle yet? This is the one problem of not having a set list.
I was gonna say that.
I know my roadie was gonna say that, but you know, I have to teach her how to tune my guitar so she could tune in between.
I would do that.
I know you would.